Hello friends and fellow Monkeyology enthusiasts, we are back with part 3 of our LOOM FM Towns playthrough. In our last episode, we left Bobbin right after he made a terrible decision that left him facing down a speeding dragon heading directly for him. So let's go ahead and jump right back into the action and see how that goes for him. Cheers. The implication there is he took all the hints that he heard, decided, okay, let's dye it green, but then we don't leave, they blend in with the grass. But when I first did that as a child, I was just doing whatever with whatever, and I wasn't really following tips or anything like that. And I just randomly turned it green, and all of a sudden I was caught by a dragon. I'm like, what the hell? Dragon's like, very cute. Put it back now. My, aren't we clever today? Just put it back before you leave. We do a lot of people dirty in this game. Like, Rusty, I think the whole reason why he got the second game that never happened is because we screwed him so hard in this one. Poor kid. Ripped apart by a fucking... undeniably an agent of chaos. You are very right there. And the fact that by the end of all said and done, his actions helped. He doesn't do it himself, but they lead to chaos being summoned into the mortal realm. Maybe you shouldn't just leave, the world's chosen one with all the power and the ability to, and just like, you got this. Hetchel's like, I'm gonna go fucking fly off to the other side of the pattern. It's weird. I've used terror twice, but it won't say. Oh, because I didn't hit drafts again. Yeah, no. FCC. Yeah. Maybe it's just an automatic response after the transaction. I guess it does count as transaction because she wasn't made into the swan. Also, I would hope in the later games they explain why the swan itself is signified by their transcendence. Like, yeah, it's probably automatically after this is done, you're pulled right to it. Let's face it, if we know that if Bobbin's mother showed up every year on the birthday when the pattern was just thin enough for her to come through, if she could have stayed, she would have. Darkness. Think of, well, I mean, God, Hetchel as that she's not, again, not transcended, but she felt the pull of being brought to the other side and back, right? She snuck back through when Rusty went. So imagine what it must have been for to be able to even grab the distaff and return it to him. You know? Even just as a duck, for that matter. A talking duck. It's remarkable. But that doesn't give her, like, super duck strength. She's still at the mercy of being a tiny little duckling. No. Not at all. In fact, by their reactions to what she turned into, they seem very surprised that she turned into, like, a cygnet egg. Do you just fall off on this one? Walking. They managed to pull off a lot in this, like, maze map scene without having anything like, scaling of the sprites. Or they utilized every little barrier very well. I can't remember if Hetchel goes, after that moment, goes back to the other side of the pattern, or if she goes straight out to find chaos. I think she does. I'm not sure that she goes back to the pattern at that point. Back outside the pattern. She very well could, because everything gets ripped open again, and she'd be able to escape to go chase. Yeah. With this one, because of the short length of Loom, I highly doubt that this is going to take more than 2 sessions of play. It's like, oh, by the way, this last that one's in the way, and stalagmite. I never get that right. Puddle. See, this is a failing in the FM Towns version. This blends way too much into that. You could very easily not even notice this as being water and not the ground. Yes, it does have separation here, but if you're just glossing through, especially compared to the depictions in the EGA version in particular, it's very clearly a different area. And like, now that we're talking about it, it's all very clear now too. But I could have just as easily walked this way. In fact, the last time I played this through, I actually did that and didn't even... Like, this is an important part. You need that. You need the reflection spell, so we can go screw Rusty right over. It's important. We're gonna screw Rusty. I mentioned previous that it's been sort of a rough week at Casa del GloKidd, for a couple reasons. I have mentioned it possibly previously, but I worked in retail for the better part of the last decade in a specific store here in town. I am no longer on an NDA, so I can say it was the source here in Kitimat. And I worked from seasonal all the way up to to store management. I stepped away from it last year because of the needs of my family, and I knew things were a little rough. But yesterday they closed the store permanently, and that place means a lot to me. Despite look at that is a very, very, very basic representation of that. I even seem to remember the EGA version better representing that. I'm sure it's the exact same sprites. You would know more than I do, ATM, for sure, but that seems like such a simplification of the original sprite there. But yeah, no, they shut it down. If you know anything about Bell Media and the news lately, they've been currently criticized because of stuff. I'm not looking to, get sued by the largest telecom company in Canada. But then again, I don't think that I'm important enough for them to be watching my streams and YouTube channel. Repair costs must be spiraling. Oh my god. It threw a friggin' pun in. Why not? Let's untwist this thing though. So. Twisting. Where's twisting? CFCC. So we need to untwist it. So, CCFC. That's D, by the way. Yay! It's a very nice animation. Just sparkles and slaps it all back together. I still don't say that feels super safe. This is like a scary path. It's not normal. So I think there needs to be guard railings here. Yep, there's the dragon that we made very angry. Yeah, I guess that would be a good point for it. Like right after the dragon goes past, then goes to insert this 3 to continue. Strange place to take a nap. At the end of the day, so much of what was cut was because of the limitations of discs, the space and whatnot, and we see a whole lot of special case animations that got completely removed, especially like in Monkey Island, where we saw so many of those animations removed and they're just commented out of the code, right? But little things here like Rusty breathing, just a single breath going through of animation in this great big close-up that you only get to see that once. You can't see it again. Okay, so what was sleep again? Sleep, A-F-E-D. So D-E-F-A. Yeah, D-E-F-A, like yours, A. To wake him up, we have to go. Never saw anyone dressed up like you before. What's your name? I don't know why whenever I first start trying to voice a character, they always start off as like a bad Patrick Stewart. Well wrought. So Rusty is probably like not a term of endearment either. Like it's what they call him because they think that he's not, because he was lazy. He went out and got a single piece of wood. Like it, their response to how he actually implies that he's not super, And now he is A metal worker named Rusty. Well wrought. Not so well wrought, are you? Yeah, we pick something up. We don't get to know that we're carrying it after. Well, we don't pick it up at all. We leave it there. I would, click you. Like, if I was going for completionism, I probably should go over and talk to the guy, and he's like, "You can't come here." But I'm just gonna make Rusty die because I'm a jerk like that, apparently. Reflection ADA. No, not AC. Too far over. And I imagine it being like the notes chosen being in the key of C is because that's probably what Tchaikovsky's work is in, at least for Swan Lake. Still napping, but you look like me. But no, I think in a True Forge sequel, and again, I've never played the fan one, I think Rusty would have to find the staff, or we would get to learn how the members of the Forge cast their magic. I think it'd be cool to have like a hammer anvil combo, because you can get good notes off that. It would bring you. I hate that the only time I can get the right song for here is in this EGA version. Very much. It's a pleasant drop instead of just looping it the same way over and over again. Yeah, the distaff is not firewood. You lazy idiot! I sent you out 4 hours ago to gather firewood, and you dare come back with one lousy stick? If your father wasn't the foreman, I'd toss you in the furnace. Lucky for you, he's downstairs with the bishop right now. If that furnace goes out, the cleric's swords will be late. Perhaps you'd care to ask the bishop for forgiveness in person. Happy to arrange it. Starting to wonder if we are going to just finish this game today. Still got about half an hour left of what's blacked out. We're already here, man. That was... Looks kinda comfortable. Yawn. Must have a sleep draft spun into it. Can't do much without my distaff anyway. Sorry guys, 1 second. Hey hon.
Oh, you need me to pick up food for the kids, like DQ or whatever? gave me to make like a meltdown. They want Subway, so I have Baby inside ordering their Subway.
Oh, no.
And I'm like trying to stay near all the rest of the kids because only one can go in.
Yeah. We just got Rusty killed.
Oh, sorry.
No. Rusty had to die for the story to go forward, but yeah, that wasn't on you. And don't worry, a duck's gonna come break me out of jail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's a special. This duck comes from the afterlife.
Also, the roads are really bad, and I hit a giant wall of snow. The car's okay. We're okay.
Okay.
But I was unable to stop, and I slid and smashed into the snow wall.
Don't.
The car looks fine now that I'm looking at the front end.
Don't forget, we need to grab some things. We won't have the option to, and I'm like on top of it.
I have to drop the kids off and come back out and do that.
Yeah.
Because I can't bring them in anywhere.
Yeah.
That's why I'm literally
Rusty.
stuck. Damien is ordering his Masons and his dad's food.
Oh, jeez.
Like, I offered to just drive Paul here, so I'm like, I don't know your Subway order. So it's like, oh, Damien knows it. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll let Damien
Really?
order.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay then.
So it's like, should I order him the grossest sub ever? I'm like, your dad is trusting you. Show him that he can trust you.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to remind you that I am streaming at the moment.
That's why I've been very mellow with what
Okay.
I said.
Okay.
Yeah. There were some other things I wanted to say, but I was like, not walking with me.
Uh-oh. Well, the duck is coming to save me from jail at the moment, which is handy.
I love you. It looks like I have to go in and see Damien now. I'm going to
Okay.
check on these ones first, but I love you.
Love you, babe.
Bye.
Bye. The things I go through. I mean, this is like an intense duck action scene right here. Think of, like, how hard this must be as a duck to do. And we just see her, and she's like, I better not actually tell him how to do anything. I mean, we could have turned that pile of straw into gold too. Now this is where you can use the emptying spell. So if you so we want to reverse it. EFFG. Yeah. Not that way. Wow, my brain just melted. There we go. I mean, that would have been handy previously. Nasty sword with this stuff thing. What was this sound? Get down, shout kids. The blade is being sharpened even as we speak here, so by my most skillful blade shaper, seeing to it personally. The forging of of the 10,000 sword marks the end of our preparations. This metal is proud for me. It does not. More sweat will soften it, I trust. It shall be a blade to be reckoned with. Let's twist it. Like DBs. CFCC. The blade is bewitched. Woman, what evil is this? The witch's curse has befallen the blade. The edge has become mischievously twisted. A curse edgewise? I think not. I'd hate to believe that a witch's curse could so thoroughly ruin my schedule. You don't suppose that fellow who's been spying on us has anything to do with it? Perhaps he'd care to accompany me back to my cathedral. Yes, I use the twister. I have many new curses to teach him. Boiled again. Enter typically spooky castle. We were literally flown there on the back of a dragon. I am Bishop Mandible, Transultimate Apostle of the Anti-Secular Conclave of Clerics. Am I supposed to kneel or something? Silence, prisoner. My assistant, Cobb. Charm. Your cloak and staff betray your origin. I studied the lore of your guild and university. It's been quite a long time since any weaver dared to set foot off that dreary rock you call home. Loom, so provincial. I can't help but wonder what impelled you to leave it now. His Excellency asked you a question. I know. I'm ignoring it. Recalcitrance, I see. Shall I face the instruments of persuasion, Excellence? Forgive the hostility of my assistant. I fear Cobb is not very worldly. He does not realize how dangerous a weaver can be. Dangerous? Do you think this iron cage of yours is enough to hold the boy captive? Why, he could burst it wide open with hardly a second thought. But, Excellence, I inspect the laws everywhere. Observe and learn, I say. Even now, your prisoner practices escape. Let's do this. Closed and locked. You see, Cobb, an elusive breed, these weavers. Luckily, they're quite helpless without their weaving sticks. Give me that. You dare raise your voice at His Excellency? Now, Cobb, we mustn't be rude to your guest. Now, after he was kind enough to bring us such a magnificent gift, Mandible, that distaff will never work for you. You're wrong, my arrogant young friend. Come, let me show you why. You heard the Exalted One. Move it. Consider the common graveyard. In a graveyard, the boundary between the living and the dead is indistinct. Your weavers would say that the pattern here is fragile, thin as gauze. Not just here, every graveyard is like that. I suspected as much. Now imagine what would happen if this delicate boundary was somehow breached. Torn open, so to speak. Well, forget it, Mandible. You can't just rip the pattern apart like an old rag. But I can. All I require is a weaver's distaff and the 4 threads of an opening draft. Thank you for supplying both so readily. When the boundary is breached, the dead will stream back onto the plane of the living, eager to reclaim their place among us, and I will be waiting for them, ready to offer my vast expertise in spiritual leadership. I shall preside over a teeming multitude of restless shades, immortal, invincible, with an army of the dead, with myself as its supreme commander, an army nourished by the meat of the shepherds, armed with the swords of the blacksmiths, and guided by the sphere of the glassmakers. I was preparing to invoke the dead by other, more forceful means. Then the glassmakers delivered my sphere and foretold your convenient arrival. Now it shows me the smiths repairing the sword you tried to ruin. The age of the clerics will soon be. The third shadow is nigh. You're a fool. You're a fool, Mandible. Interesting. Ghostly Furor. Spiritual. Okay. Lord Mandible, ruler of the universe. Time to change my stationery. Uh-oh. Here comes the moment that we... First, I'm going to catch up with her. Purple glimmers? Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Keep away from that, you. His Excellence said not to touch anything. I wasn't going to touch it, just looking, that's all. Just looking, eh? Tell you what. I'll let you look into the sphere if you let me look at something. Thank you. Legends say it's death to gaze upon a weaver uncloaked. Naturally, we clerics pay little heed to such foolish rumors. Still. That's brutal. I wouldn't try that if I were you. Why not? There's nothing to fear under that fine robe of yours, is there? If you fear nothing, then you better not touch me. A riddle. I like riddles. Let's answer this little riddle once and for all, shall we? I ate you with my face. I didn't even want to eat you with my face. I warned you to not because I was going to eat you with my face. I'm really hoping to... it'd be so silly to start this back up for like 10 minutes of gameplay in the next one. Okay, let's get the rest of the... Oh no! They cook ketchup. But I mean, yeah, but eventually their ugly inbred faces ended up being able to eat people. So, you know, like, it worked out well. I'm sorry, I have to check on my son. Alright, and we're going to cut that there. Don't worry, my son's fine, and he'll be joining us in our next video. Thank you very much for watching today. If you've liked what you're seeing, be sure to click like and subscribe. And if you want to see us do this live. Check us out on twitch.tv/TheRealGloKid. We stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays pretty much every week, barring life emergencies, etc. So thank you very much for watching again, and have a great night.